Hey, court reporters, welcome back to my channel. Listen, we got to talk about Coach B, okay? We truly have to talk about this woman because I just saw an interview that she did with the Ashley's Reality Roundup that really just kind of set off some more alarm bells for me. Listen, I've already got a video outlining the ways in which her background and the way she presents herself as a doctor is a little bit shady, a little bit sketchy. It upset a lot of you guys who might want to apologize to me after this video. I'm joking, but not joking, but joking. So it just reminded me how I said, listen, by her background, the way she's presenting herself as a doctor, though she has never completed a PhD or anything like that, or medical school, is really shady. And so now, in this interview that she did with the Ashley's Reality Roundup, she really just solidifies everything that just kind of like sketched me out about her, okay? Because she was speaking out about all of these recent stories coming out about Ryan Edwards, his arrest and whatnot. And she really goes into detailing how Bentley is handling this in the context of him as like a patient of hers. And so typically when you are a patient of someone who is some sort of like a medical, like a therapist, or this, that, the other, you're entitled to, and you have a reasonable expectation of a certain level of privacy. So why is it that someone who is treating a child for mental health issues and reasons and whatnot, why is this person then running to a blog to spill all on that treatment and how that child is handling a traumatic event? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. If you're a therapist, if you're a social worker, if you're a life coach, this, that, or the other, you tell me, is this normal behavior? Is this something that you do with your clients, right? Like if you've got a famous client or whatever, would you go to an outlet to, especially if they were a minor, would you go to an outlet to spill all on how they're handling a traumatic event? Or is that something that you consider to be inappropriate, right? Let's talk about it. Someone let me know in the comment section, okay? So let's get into the article. And by the way, this is nothing against the Ashley's Reality Roundup, right? The Ashley, she's just getting the tea as she should. It's her job. This is all on Coach B herself because it's she who has a certain level of ethical obligation to Bentley, in my humble opinion. So they actually sat down with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant to talk about Ryan Edwards' recent arrest and the relapse and whatnot. Remember, he was busted with drugs and drug paraphernalia just a couple of days ago. So I'm not even going to put allegedly on that. But I digress. So she told the Ashley that she was surprised to hear that Ryan had been arrested for drug possession earlier in the month, and that, you know what, she has been training Bentley for this moment for a long time in case Ryan had relapsed. And this is a direct quote from her. It's a really tough situation. It's extremely heartbreaking and tough for Bentley because he's the one that's being directly affected. Well, not just Bentley, right? This is true, but Jagger and Stella, I think, are being affected even more so because they actually live with Ryan full time, whereas Bentley only sees him occasionally. Ryan, he said in the reunion special that he doesn't even know what to talk about with this child anymore because he has not seen him in so long. He spent so little time with him. She continues on to say Ryan was working. He was doing better than he had done in the past. He was communicating with Bentley more. They were having one-on-one dad and son time, and their relationship was actually starting to become a little bit more substance-based than it had been before. Bentley shared that he was enjoying the newness of having more contact and spending more time with his dad. Okay, so again, why is she telling us that? Because that's something that he told her under the guise of her helping him, treat potential mental health issues like anxiety or whatever surrounding his issues with his father, right? She's also saying that Bentley had even learned some new things about Ryan that were really enlightening for Bentley. Again, why do we know that? Because you are telling him things as a therapist, as a life coach, or whatever it is that you are. So that is private. That is private medical information as far as I'm aware. And I don't understand why Dr. Cheyenne is sharing this child's private details like that with the public. It's not adding up to me. It's really odd. Let's continue on to see a little bit more about what she says. My heart is sad for both Ryan and Bentley because I can only imagine how Ryan feels about breaking his commitments to himself as a man and to his son, who he wants a relationship with. See, this is fair enough. This is neutral. This is not you talking about coping strategies that you are teaching a child in private sessions. Then she says, my heart broke for Bentley and the disappointment that I know he felt. But we also prepared and talked a lot about how their relationship was in a good place. But in the event that it takes a pivot, these are the feelings you may feel. These are the tools that I want you to use if Ryan pivots. Coach B, what is going on? That's the reality of addiction. My job is to support Bentley in what's going on in the present moment, but also to prepare him for what I already know from my experience as a seasoned coach and seasoned therapist. There you go. She's been doing this stuff for Bentley, giving him the tools, this, that, and the other, evaluating how he's handling things as a life coach and as a therapist. And a therapist is supposed to act under some sort of confidentiality act with their patients, which is why I don't understand why she's talking about her patient in a blog, right? About his disappointment, about the tools, about the fact that he was prepped and this, that, and the other. It's very odd. She does say that Ryan needs to take accountability for his actions, right? But she's not going to judge him because she understands the challenges that come with addiction. But he does need to take accountability. I feel like she could have just kept her statements to Ryan and Ryan alone, because when she talks about Ryan Edwards and the way that he's handling his life and whatnot, she is doing it in a more neutral and mature. Yeah, I could even say mature, but like in a more neutral kind of way. She's not talking about anything that they've been doing privately in healing sessions and therapy sessions and life coaching sessions. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Bentley, the child, we're getting into the nitty gritty about him processing his emotions and whatnot, and tools and this and that, the status of his relationship with his father. It's just not sitting right with me. It truly isn't. Anyway, she continues on to add, the main thing is to make sure that Bentley is processing his emotions. He's not shutting down. But if he does, I will come back to you with the news, with the tea exclusively, right? And to make sure he's not personalizing his dad's decisions so that Bentley doesn't take on the weight of his father's choices. It's a very, very challenging thing to learn and to do as a kid of an addict parent. It's ongoing work, and it will always be work. And I will always, as long as Bentley and Maci will have me, hopefully not much longer if you're going to keep talking to the blogs, boo, be a part of the supporting and advocating for them and having their back and loving Bentley to pieces, because that is what Bentley needs. So what part of exposing Bentley's relationship with his father, the things that he's working on with you in therapy, what part of that is supporting him and having his back? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking for it, but I can't find it because it's just not making sense to me, right? I don't know. Listen, it's not hard to see why one of those degree mill schools she went to got shut down. If this is the type of ethics they're teaching, it's no wonder they got shut down, because this to me is wholly, wholly, wholly inappropriate. There's no other way to slice it. It's incredibly inappropriate that she spoke about these like private sessions that she was having with Bentley and the tools that she was giving him and whatnot. I just don't understand why a therapist would do that to their patient, especially with their patient being a child. You know, it's very disappointing to see. And I do wonder if, I don't know if there's any like kind of quote unquote backlash about it yet, or anyone kind of speaking or asking questions about why Coach B decided to talk about Bentley in this way instead of just keeping the focus on Ryan and, you know, Ryan needing to manage his life this way, that way, and the other way. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if she's going to come out and maybe like say, listen, I made a mistake. I should not have spoken about one of my child patients that I am treating. Yeah, I don't know what happens. Is this an official HIPAA violation? right? Is she acting as a, because she claims that she is both a life coach. She claims that she is a doctor. She claims that she's a therapist. So is that like where the nuance is? Like, if she was acting as a life coach, is she not bound by HIPAA? Like, where does the line kind of get drawn here is what I'm wondering. And you know, all of this kind of just reminds me of how Bentley's own mom, Maci, sold him out in a similar way a couple of seasons ago on Teen Mom Next Chapter. Do you remember when she called up Bentley's therapist behind Bentley's back, put him on speakerphone, and asked him to summarize Bentley's therapy session? I'm sorry, but the people that they bring onto MTV, these therapists that are supposed to be helping these people, there's something wrong with that, because the things that they do to these children are incredibly inappropriate, exploitative, and just harmful, in my opinion. I feel bad for the kid. I really do. Like, there's just no one he can trust in life. He can't trust his parents. He can't trust these life coaches, these therapists that they're bringing around him. So what do you do as a person in that position? Truly, when you cannot trust a single person around you, what do you do? And that's a really sad and scary thought, especially knowing that he's only 13 years old and he's in this position. At 13 years old, you're on the internet already, you know, you're knowing these things are coming out. Sometimes our kids, like for example, Mackenzie McKee's kids, complain about her going on TikTok, even though she's not talking about them on TikTok or anything like that. She's just having a good time, but they're complaining that their friends are seeing this stuff and they're making fun of them. So like Bentley's friends might be reading these things. They might be seeing these things and they might be making fun of him for it. And it's why? I don't understand. I'm going to take a quick minute to read a comment that I got from TikTok, but if any channel members want to leave a comment as well, make sure to put it in the private chat. So Nicole from TikTok says, why is she doing this while the whole thing is actively happening? The story just broke. Great question. Is it clout chasing? I don't know. I think so. I feel like anyone who puts doctor in their name without earning a doctorate or a medical degree is a bit of a clout chaser, is a bit of a poser, right? So I do wonder if that is her MO here, to raise her profile, to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. But either way, it seems, in my opinion, to really, 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 really blur the ethical lines, if not completely railroad over them and disregard them, especially when, again, you're speaking about a child, a 13-year-old child, and you're out here talking about him and his treatment, what he's going through when it comes to his drug addict father, which already is hard enough for a child to deal with, but now to deal with it on this scale with someone that you're confiding in and seeking guidance, you know, therapeutic guidance from. Oof. There are no words for this. And like, you know, listen, I'm going to link below that video that I did a couple of years ago. I think it was last year or the year before, about Coach B and her shady credentials. Maybe it'll make more sense to you why she's doing this, right? Because to me, as someone who saw through her from the beginning and who was dragged for seeing through her, this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm going to link to it. You guys go back, watch the video, and maybe let me know what you think about it, knowing now what you know now. Okay. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. Take care.